Hey, Michael here. Hope you're doing well. Okay, up in a tree. Been out moving around, exercising, getting some movement practice done. Now, vaccines. I'm not going to say what you should believe, go for or against. In some ways, it might be clear what I believe, but what we need to do is get the methods to figure this out for ourselves, you know? That's what we want. All right, so briefly what we're going to talk about is the fact that to understand something, you need to know the background knowledge and context for it. You can't just look at a thing in isolation. We need to look at broader aspects of the universe, not just that one little atom floating around in isolation from everything else. For understanding, we need to know the essence of something. We need to have reduced that idea to the evidence of the senses, and we need to integrate that idea to other things that are causally relevant. So we can't look at one little thing. We need to look at immediate causes and context, and then look at broader causes and context. Then we can have understanding. When we're thinking about vaccines, we got to ask, what is a vaccine and how does it work? It's not an antidote. It's not a poison to some virus or anything. It's not a magic coat. It's not magic protection from some little fairy dust. Remember, vaccines work in specific ways according to a certain nature and our nature. So we got to ask, okay, what is a vaccine? How do they work? We can read about them, but reading about them alone does not satisfy the norms of science and the norms of good epistemology. As you can see, it's a little windy today. 12-mile-an-hour winds, picking up to 25 in the afternoon, I think, in a few hours, but nice day. Anyway, so I'll be moving around. So we got to think about, what a vaccine is, how it works, what's its nature, and the different ones. Just as not all trees are alike, not all vaccines are alike, not all human beings are alike. You can't say it's a human being, therefore it does this and this and this. There are some general characteristics of humans, but people vary widely in all kinds of different characteristics. Or animal. It's an animal. Okay, well, what kind? It's a bed. Well, what kind? Straw on the floor, like something comfy, really high up, bunk bed, bed on a boat, what? Or it's a virus. So what? What kind of virus? What does it do? We need to look at the vaccine in particular, see what it does. Think about how it works. How does it work? It works by affecting our immune system. So if we're going to understand how vaccines work and be able to make good decisions about them, then we should understand our immune system. That's a fundamental to knowing vaccines. We shouldn't go around being pro or con about vaccines until we know the immune system and know something about disease. We got to know how the immune system works, because it is what responds to the vaccine, as we know. And you can look this up yourself, hopefully you will, because that's the whole point. Let's look at how we can think about this and take the time to do it, because it's important for us. It's important for our family, our friends, people we love, the society in general. Most of us don't want to give out bad information to people. They can get sick, get hurt. We don't want that. We want the best for our family and friends and ourselves. So we should really be aware of some topics. It'd be nice if we didn't have to, but that's not the world we live in, In this society, there's a lot of opinions, decisions. People have done a lot of things and made a lot of things. It could be right or could be wrong, and we got to judge for ourselves, So, that's the beauty of it, and that's like responsibility as well. But we need to look at how the immune system works, how disease functions, and things about, okay, how does the immune system work? So if we're going to do that, we need to know about what makes the immune system work well. Okay, the immune system is to react to something. It's got to produce a compound. So clearly we need material to make that happen. So we need to look at what is a good diet, not what does someone say is a good diet or what we feel like a good diet, but what is actually a good diet for human beings that helps the immune system function. And we need to look all through history for that, not just at so-called modern science. because we need to look at reality, not people's opinions. Science is always finite and limited by what people know. And if you look at kind of science in general, it's, some of it's a bunch of lies, mistakes. If you look at real proper science, it's very limited. And until we know norms of epistemology, induction, deduction, nature of concepts, what a theory is, what science is, then we can't judge as well what is proper science and what's called science but is not. We need to look at the nature of the immune system, how it works, and what kind of diet we need for that to function. What kind of things actually know. So look all through history. Modern science can tell you some, but not everything. We need to look at also recovery and sleep. Besides diet, sleep is very important in immune system function. Exercise, gut like bacteria, and then look at the organs of the immune system and how they function. And part of our protection against disease is the gut lining, bacteria in there, the skin, bacteria on the skin. So we need to know how to make our skin healthy, how to make our gut healthy, how to make the bacteria in us and on us healthy. So then you see there, we're starting to look at the immune system, but what happens? We got to go back to human health. We got vaccines, we go broader and deeper, we look at the immune system. Broader and deeper human health. We got to see, because like sleep, a healthy diet, exercise, having organs that function well and optimally, skin, bone marrow, brain, things like that, lungs, having organs that function properly is the broader context for the immune system to function well. But so we got to go broader every time. And, that's following the norms of epistemology, and knowing what understanding is. You got to remember that we don't understand something until we know the broader context, the background for it. What's the background for vaccines? Not just historically, but metaphysically, epistemologically, biologically. The biological and the metaphysical is more important. I mean metaphysics like the theory of man, not like some people use the word metaphysics for some books on like spirits and ghosts and like whatever. I mean in a philosophic sense. And so we're going to look at the background of things like that. That is when we can understand vaccines. Without that information, without the background, we don't have understanding. And then we got to look at, as I say, the causes for things. Well, I said yet, but just say in general. What causes the immune system to work right? What causes us to be healthy? How do we prevent disease? And you got to look at what is your glutathione status, your antioxidant status, what about your vitamin D? All these things go into play to not just help our immune system function and keep us healthy and fight disease, but just to keep us healthy and optimally functioning in the first place. Those are the things we need to look at. Then we can say we understand vaccines. And we even go broader. Some of the stuff, okay, what is a vaccine? Then you got to look at how it works, what the individual ones are, how the immune system functions is broader, what human health is broader. And then in some of this, you got to look at, we can't really get some of this down without knowing about other animals and plants, and because that's what our food is. What's a healthy plant? What's a healthy animal? Notice that we're looking at our relationship to the whole entire world, not just doing something in isolation as if we lived in a vacuum or a test tube or something. We're integrally related and part of nature. We're not separate from it. So we got to look at other animals, evolution, things like that, to really get the background to vaccines. So that's what we should, for for our interests, for the love of ourselves and friends and family, and making other people in society the best they can be. I'm really promoting the good. We should learn those things and not say pro or con vaccines until we've really dug into it. So I hope that helps. Look that up on your own. Be an independent thinker, because that helps make sure you're giving good information to those you love and make a better society. So look at something and then find the background, dig into that, and then we understand what we should do about vaccines and other things as well. Education, politics, how to run right, the best kind of exercise, things like that. Anyway, hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. And remember, ask Dr. Google for a lot of stuff, a lot of information on the internet. Read books, look stuff up on the internet. Think about your own experience and really dig into it. Thanks for watching.